The ideal shipment has proper documentation, is shipped at the time promised, is void of claims, has the supplier getting paid without discrepancies, clears the destination customs without a hitch, and saves money on shipping costs. This presentation will offer some reminders and tips to build communication and quality results as a supplier to the foreign principal. These bullets are an overview of the discussion topics. Who is H.C. Bennett Company? Basically, think of us as the U.S. logistics contact for foreign principals that purchase on a routed transaction basis. All of the roles of a typical international freight forwarder are handled by us, but with many more associated order functions. We get involved at the time the PO is issued. We physically receive cargo at our subcontracted warehouses, consolidate it, and arrange to have it shipped via air, ocean, or air express to the foreign buyer. As FPPI agents, we represent the foreign buyer, not the U.S. seller. Our goal is to look at the interests of both the U.S. seller and the foreign buyer. We don't purport to have a corner on knowing the best way to handle certain delivery order procedures and welcome your input. When you receive a PO, please look carefully at the agreed delivery date. Point out to us if that delivery is still feasible. Figure an appropriate lead time from your shipping location to our receiving consolidation facility. This presentation affords us the opportunity to request an updated list of your contacts. Obviously, we want to be communicating with the responsible individual through direct telephone lines and direct email that is current. The typical shipment steps: from the supplier's location, truck to a consolidation warehouse, overseen by the administration of the FPPI agent, which is the freight forwarder. Once it arrives overseas, the destination customs broker takes care of the clearance through their customs. Then it is delivered to the consignee. Throughout, you want to have some kind of shipment visibility, and as later explained, our HCB cloud is a means to do just that. The buyer winds up paying for all delivery costs. Ideally, it would then seem reasonable that the buyer would want to control as many of these steps as possible. This can be accomplished using a routed transaction in which the Incoterms are either ex-works or free carrier at a U.S. receiving location. Here is an example of the buyer's PO format. Note this is pretty standard. Indicates heading guidance and lists the specific line items of what is being ordered. The PO should be a reflection of what has been negotiated or the acceptance of the seller's pro forma invoice. From the line items, scrutinize that the currently used part numbers are accurate and each unit price is accurate. When requested by the supplier, HCB will provide an acknowledgement that we have received the PO and input it into our system. This provides the Schedule B that will be used for the EEI. Where our proposed classification doesn't agree with your records or is blank, we request that you update us to use the correct Schedule B or HTS number. This also acknowledges the Incoterms of sale, which reminds you as the supplier of your delivery responsibilities. The international shipping mode is shown. Packing should be reasonably appropriate for that mode of shipment, although most export packaging is handled by our receiving warehouse. Further, the acknowledgement provides some shipment reminders, such as reminding proper country of origin markings are required on the merchandise. Note the HCB Cloud button on the home page of our website. By hitting this, you'll bring up the HPCB Cloud Services. The acknowledgement also alerts the supplier they can register for free to view the activity of the PO from the time it is received at the U.S. Consolidation Warehouse. Items in blue can be further opened to drill down to packaging, product, and international shipping details. As the purchase order is often based on the supplier's pro forma invoice, HCB has developed software that creates a comprehensive pro forma. This is intended to be thorough, cover the seller as to performance clauses, detail all cost information, organized by category, and professionally formatted. This much more effectively replaces the normal format used by exporters. A demo of how this works is provided via a free 2 o'clock Tuesday presentation by HCB. Or view the demos online. Our theme is a successfully planned and organized export yields a smooth import. If the supplier knows what is expected of them, the results are usually positive for all. Written guidelines can serve as an addendum to the issuance of any purchase order. This clarifies such matters as how the order should be packed, to what degree the supplier should notify the buyer of production stages, country of marking guidelines, and procedures for dealing with the buyer's supply chain vendors. Many times it is best that the buyer actually meet with and visit the supplier's factory, although this may not always be practical. The written guidelines could possibly be reinforced through a web meeting that the buyer stages with the supplier. If the research has already been done, it is invaluable to a freight forwarder to receive a database showing a cross-reference of part numbers to the associated Schedule B numbers. In addition to the normal delivery order information contained in most purchase orders, certain shipments require further scrutiny. For instance, some machinery should be accompanied by test certificates for each unit delivered to us. Some cargo requires that an OEM manual also accompany the cargo. You should take special note on the PO of the check boxes that may be marked. If a pre-inspection is required, the testing objective should be stipulated. Or note if the approval drawing is checked. Unfortunately, many times the expected delivery date is delayed, awaiting on the drawings or approval at both ends of the transaction. Testing is obviously best done by a qualified inspection service or perhaps an engineer from the buyer's company. With today's technology, it may be possible to perform witness inspection on a remote basis using a webcam. This might be a suitable alternative to the travel and administrative costs of a live witness inspection. End of Part 1. Part 2 follows with product packaging, labeling, and inland transportation to the consolidation point.